Good morning, Stampers. I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and this is Maker Mornings with Meg. And if you live in the sort of central Midwest today, you might be in the middle of a blizzard. So let's see. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a snowy day out there. We'll see. We haven't quite gotten the 17 inches that are predicted. We could still see the tops of the grass a few minutes ago. But in honor of that and of the fact that it's Groundhog's Day, and I learned this morning that Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow, so 6 more weeks of winter, and that the tradition was actually started with a hedgehog. So I thought about using the Happy Hedgehog stamp set this morning to honor Punxsutawney Phil. I decided not to do that. Then I thought about the otters because they're awfully cute and kind of look groundhog-ish, maybe in their face at least. Anyway, but we're not going to use that. We are going to think spring and less snowy weather with Daffodil Daydream. So this is the stamp set that I'm going to feature for the month of, February. There are a zillion blizzard warnings going on here. Our school district already canceled school today and tomorrow, and they said maybe asynchronous on Friday. So it's all exciting around here. But I didn't want to miss you guys. So Daffodil Daydreams, we are going to talk about this. It has a die set. Here's just a few of them that look very complicated, but I don't want you to be intimidated by this. I'm going to give you steps. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet on doing this relatively easily, and I'm going to show you how it's designed to really make your life of making fields of daffodils so much simpler than you might guess. And let me pick up the die that I dropped before I forget it. And with that, man, I just have a ton of things to show you guys this morning as part of this project. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna say hi to everybody. Hey, Anna and Cheryl and Sue and Jenny and Faith, Debbie and Carol and Doris and Trish and Mary and Ann. Hi, Ann. And Carol and everybody. So gosh, everybody must be home home with the snow today. Kim, we're sending you our snow apparently, so good luck. I just was thinking that we hadn't really gotten very much yet, and here we are with it kind of taking off now, so we'll see what happens there. All right, so daffodils. Like I said, there are a lot of pieces to this. And we are going to die cut some beautiful daffodils with stems for our project. And I'm going to give you some tips, like I said. So first of all, you could pick 2 cardstock colors to layer. These dies are designed to go one atop each other. So this is the detail, this is the background. So you could pick a light and a dark colored cardstock, but we have this Simply Marbleous paper. The link is in the video description. This is one of the Sale-a-bration items, so you get it free with a $50 order during just this month. We only have a couple weeks left of this, and it is beautiful with the daffodils. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the top layer from our Marbleous paper, and we're gonna cut the under layer from our cardstock. Now, if you're looking at this and thinking that's too many pieces, I just don't get it, I have a cheat sheet for you. So these are pictures that Stampin' Up! Created, and I put them together with a project idea. And the link for this image is in the video description too. So you can download this image and print it yourself. I would fold it up and keep it either in your die package or in your stamp set so that you'll always have this cheat sheet. So we're gonna make this daffodil today. And that means we're gonna do this step. We're gonna cut one of these from our top layer. So it's gonna get cut. I think I have a smaller piece of this that's actually gonna be easier to put through our die cut machine. I thought I did. Oh well. Okay, so we're gonna cut one from here. We're gonna cut this one from the cardstock, all right? Then we're going to cut 2 petal, whatever petal things. We're gonna cut this one here from that. We're gonna cut this one here from that. And then we're gonna cut the other 2 backgrounds from the cardstock, okay? So just like that. Now, this is a lot of pieces to kind of be managing. So my tip for you in making your life easy is to just go ahead and use washi tape to tape these pieces down. Oops, you should tape them cutting side down though. That wasn't gonna work very well. Just go ahead and tape them right on your cardstock, okay? And that will make it really easy to transfer them to your paper and to pick them up and cut again, which I will show you in a second, okay? All right, so we're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna bring my die cutting machine in. I know a lot of times I die cut ahead of time, but I wanted you guys to see that. Okay, so here's my example with the stems. Check this out. See how they're all attached to each other with washi tape? Makes it really simple for me to just lay that set down there and then put, I don't have another cutting plate, put my second cutting plate on top and then run this through, and those are just a breeze. And the pieces will come out on the other side, and usually I kind of tap it a few times to just get those to pop out. And then you may need to go ahead and do a little poking there with take your pick tool to get those out. Or you can also use the wax paper trick. If you're cutting a whole lot of these, you would put a layer of wax paper between your die and your like desired cardstock or paper or whatever. And that wax paper helps the dies to just pop right, or the cardstock to pop right out of your dies. So here we're doing the other, sorry, I know it's spinny. It's because the paper that's underneath doesn't spin on my countertop. Okay. All right, and then like if I wanted to cut another round of daffodils, I could go ahead and just pull these off and take out my insides here. Let's see, I didn't grab my pokey tool this morning. I grabbed my insides there, and then just go ahead and set these up again and just run them through again. So really speedy, so that you can have some daffodils all ready to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull these out of here. Did I lose my, oh, there it is. Okay, and then let's talk about putting these together, for which we are going to want our silicone craft sheet and our multi-purpose liquid glue. Let's see. Okay, Kim says she has this Stampin' die set, and in the spring, 1,000 daffodils on their property. Oh, how beautiful. I do love daffodils. I don't know if it's just that squirrels dig them up, but I always find that my daffodils are great for a year, and then they're supposed to come up every year, right? And somehow they do not around here. I think maybe the squirrels get them or something. So if anybody has any daffodil tricks, I remember seeing a trick somebody had about like planting your daffodils and your tulips and then putting a layer of chicken wire over the top under the ground, so that the chipmunks or squirrels or whoever would be able to get them out of the ground. Has anybody actually tried that? I don't know. We need some gardening tips, although I'm not sure how I can be thinking gardening when there's a blizzard outside. Now, if you do this over and over again, you just get in a die cutting mood. Remember that it is really easy to save your pieces. Check out all those stems. Inside your stamp case, just tuck them in there. And this one, I actually had even some daffodils made up ahead of time, and so I saved them in here too, so I could just pop them out, okay? So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull one of these out so that you guys can see where we are going. Isn't that gorgeous? Just so much fun with these little guys. Okay, so the pieces here are our stem, and I'm going to go ahead and use just one here. So I want them to come this way. So I'm gonna pop those back in my case, and we're gonna go ahead and put these together. Now, one of the trickiest things about this is getting the pieces lined up. So I'm gonna show you some tips for that too. When I am doing my multi-purpose liquid glue on here, I do kind of like to just pick up the pieces and hold them in my hand, because then I'm squishing it from the sides like this so that the pieces line up perfectly, okay? And then just set them on your pad here so that when you go to pick them up, you don't find that they're accidentally stuck. Now, for this, honestly, you can try and figure out, and you'll kind of get an eye for figuring out which direction they go, which petals they line up with, and that was coincidentally right the first time. But if you don't have that eye yet, just go ahead and stick it on there, and if it doesn't line up exactly, see here, like I'm trying to line up and it doesn't, then just rotate it one petal at a time. And because you've put the glue in the center, see, not quite lined up, the glue is going to be in the exact right place. So there we are with that, okay? So really simple. Let's see. Faith says she puts the clear envelope inside her case with Seal Plus and it holds her pre-cut bits. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Then it would not be like flopping around like this. So I just had so many stems, which I guess I can add my extra stems in there now that I hadn't put those in. But yeah, sticking it in there is a good idea. All right, so we're gonna set these now. We're gonna go ahead and layer together. So I'm gonna kind of eye how these daffodil pieces are gonna go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pop some glue on here and stick these. And again, with a silicone craft sheet, I don't have to worry about that popping off in some weird way. And then finally, to go ahead and stick the center down, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this here. Now, I have some tips for putting our card together too, so you're gonna wanna see those. So let's go ahead and set that there. Oops, I think it's a little too far up. Oh, did you see how I did that? It was not quite where I wanted it. So instead of peeling it like this and pulling my layers apart, I just pulled sideways. And there's just not that much adhesive on the little Stampin' Dimensional, so it makes it pretty easy to do that, okay? And I don't know. I'm gonna do one more time. I kind of like, there we go. You gotta try out the different ways you want your petals to go. And I'm kind of liking that. All right, so now let's get back to our card, which we haven't even seen yet. I have a piece here of Evening Evergreen cardstock, which is a perfect match for for layering with the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. And so here is that paper. This is the front side. And then the back sides of these, let's see, I'll just pull it all out. The back sides of these are these pretty sort of neutrally patterns like this. Okay, with some black, some yellow, some pale papaya. Is it pale papaya? Flirty flamingo, pale papaya, pear pizzazz, etc., etc. Okay. So this is a celebration item, which is gorgeous. So you gotta love when you get a whole pack of paper for free. And then I'm gonna go ahead and layer a piece of this on here like this, but I want this to have a little bit of a stronger background to separate it from the dark green. And so I'm gonna bring in a die cut piece here, Bumblebee cardstock. And this is die cut with one of my go-to die sets. You can see I saved my pieces there. This is Stitched So Sweetly, and the link is in the video description for this one too. It is a really great sort of pseudo fussy kind of die set for something like this where you just want a lot of character to your layer. So we're gonna go ahead and layer this under here, which gives us the perfect place to add a greeting. And my greeting for this set, or this card, comes from the Special Moments stamp set, which is also a celebration item. It's one of the 100 ones. And it has such great greetings inside it. Just ones that I find myself reaching for over and over again. You're amazing. Hang in there. Just all kinds of, I couldn't wait for a special occasion. Thanks for brightening my day, which goes great with our daffodils. So anyway, I've already stamped this in Memento Black, and I'm gonna go ahead and layer this piece of Designer Series paper here onto our Stitch So Sweetly background layer. All right, and we're gonna stamp inside our card too, so hang in there. We'll get to that. All right, so now this layer, of course, you could put flat, but why when you could put Stampin' Dimensionals underneath it? Morning, Becky. And Deborah says the paper is really pretty. Yes, I agree. I'm a big fan of that one. I'm not sure which paper she was talking about a minute ago. Oh, probably the Daffodil Afternoon. Yeah, it is a gorgeous paper. Okay, so this is gonna get centered on our card, and I love that this die is sized to go perfectly on a card front. So you can see it has a nice even border all the way around. Now, we have our stems, which actually would put our daffodil way up here, and that is not where we want it. So we're gonna go with popping these down and going and cutting the ends off when we stick these on. So, all right, I wanna make sure my like daffodil here kind of arcs to the side. I want my daffodil to appear kind of on a third line here rather than smack in the center of my card. You can see how that, maybe down a little more, just looks a little bit more natural. And then I think usually the tall leaves of the daffodil end up coming up a little bit beyond. So let's go ahead and pull these things off one at a time and pop some glue on the back. Again, when you use multi-purpose liquid glue, if you can see it, it is enough. You don't need big gobs of it on there. And I'm gonna pop this one down here, and then we'll put our stem next to it. And I'm gonna put the glue mostly up here. I'm not gonna worry too much about the very bottom. There we go. And then, okay, I guess I'm gonna move it down a little bit. Can I do that? There we go. Honestly, you could cover it up anywhere. It's not like anyone can see underneath it to know where your stem actually is. And then I'm gonna put a decent amount of glue on here, and then pop our daffodil onto the front of our card. Now, I just realized that I didn't add one of my layering pieces. So I decided when I made this card the first time that this is really pretty, but it feels like it needs kind of a little bit more sideways element. And so I pulled out my gold ribbon. Now this ribbon is the 3/8 inch ribbon that was in the holiday catalog, because I can't find my 1/4 inch ribbon that is currently available now. So in the video supply list, in the video supply list, it actually links to the 1/4 inch ribbon. So I'll be using that mostly this month. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this here, and I am going to pop some adhesive on the back. I've got my mat right there, so I might as well put that adhesive on with this. And then, because I forgot to do this earlier, I can go over these, or because I have multi-purpose liquid glue, it gives me an extra second or two to move these. We'll see. I got away with that one. Let's see if I can get away with this one. Again, and I'm actually, it looks like I'm pulling up, but I'm actually pulling that direction. So just like the other trick, when you are separating your layers, pull sideways on things, don't pull up. Okay, and there. All right, woohoo! Success, we made it. And then I'm gonna trim the end of this little ribbon here to get rid of that fray bit. Okay, and I'm gonna shorten this one just a little bit so it doesn't go off the edge of the paper, because I want it to stop there. Now, this is very pretty. There's one more element that I'll be using a lot this month, and that is these sweet brass butterflies. So remember, you can add these to anything you like. I'm gonna go ahead and pop a couple of these on here. I'll use the bigger ones since it's on the black paper. And there we have our little brass butterflies, okay? Oh, we didn't clip our card here, so I'm gonna clip that. And then let's go to the inside of our card. So here, I'm gonna bring back in my stamp set, and I am going to layer. Now this paper is generally happy with the Very Vanilla, as it's neutral. So you don't always see a lot of Very Vanilla for me. Oh, check this paper out. Excited to show you that card. I don't always use a lot of Very Vanilla, but for this one, it's just a really nice soft look and a soft match. So I'm gonna bring that in with my big daffodil stamp here. And I could, of course, die cut this, because there's a die that actually cuts out this image, and I'll be showing that to you a little later. So here's, not today, in another video, but here's the die that would cut this image out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and ink this up and go ahead and just stamp a little daffodil bouquet here on our card inside, just like that, okay? And then of course you would want to stamp an envelope to match it. So here is my envelope, and I'm just gonna ink that up again with Bumblebee and stamp this here on the front, because you know, when you go to the mailbox and you open your mailbox, it's so fun to see something that's like cute and stamped in there, mixed amongst the advertising flyers, I guess. But let's go ahead and bring this here and pop some adhesive on the back of our layer and pop this one in here. So just like so. All right, so then there is our finished card with a Daffodil Daydream stamp set, and our Simply Marbleous paper, and our Daffodil Afternoon paper, and our Sale-a-bration special moments. So these 3 things here are all celebration items: the stamps, the paper, and the 2 papers. This and its coordinating dies are in the January through June mini catalog, okay, in case you're looking for these things. And this is one of the projects that I'll come back up here, will include with the PDF tutorials that you get for ordering from me during February. So thank you guys who've already placed February orders, or so on top of it. But it'll be the tutorial for this card, and I'll also include that graphic in there, the one about how to do the die cutting and so forth, so that you can just remember how those pieces go together. It's really simple. So that PDF tutorial will be available when you place an order. It'll come by email. And then at the end of the month, if you have ordered at least $50, then you will not only, hopefully if you ordered your 50 at once, gotten a celebration item for free with your order, but you will get card kits in the mail from me after the month of February, and that will include 2 cards featuring the Daffodil Daydream stamp set. So Daffodil, I always want to call it something else, Daffodil Daydream. So whether you are sitting at home in a blizzard like me, snow is blowing sideways now, or you are someplace where it's not so cold and not so snowy, or you're like Kim, looking forward to the snow coming up in the next 24 hours or so, I hope that you guys are excited to make some cards. Link is in the video description for the supplies that I used today, as well as for the graphic that I've set up there with the sample. So Stampin' Up! Put those little how-to diagrams together, and I added a card sample to them, so kind of keep you in mind. All right, guys, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll be back on Friday for another Maker Mornings with Meg. Happy stamping.